It's very difficult to use your time off effectively. In particular, when you're in a profession like mine, your holidays tend to be irregular and come with many restrictions on how you can spend them. It's hard to make plans ahead of time. When you do, they'll be spoiled as often as not. As a result, I tend to use my free days to catch up on sleep, get in extra exercise, and read books, things I can do without the need for any advanced planning or preparation. The major side effect is that I've never been able to form much in the way of a hobby or interest to enliven my usual routine. My schedule may have changed once I entered the school, but my mildly pathetic recreational habits remain much the same. I'm working through a calisthenics routine in the dorm lobby. Monty is providing helpful commentary. Gosh. Machina starting off with the heavy-hitting truths. Look, the stage whispers and dramatic sighs are starting to get on my nerves. How about you just come over here and tell me off to my face? I take it back, do me a favor and stick to sniping behind my back. This is more infuriating than I expected.
にしてもさ、本当にやること何もないの？ヘドはさすがに出ないけど、見ててため息の一つもつきたくもなるわよ、それ。
Money squats down next to me as she speaks, her face full of pity. Give me a break here. It's better than sitting around doing nothing at all, don't you think?
確かにそうだけどさ、それでもせっかくの土曜なんだから、少しはなんかこう、もっとそれらしいことしたらいいんじゃないの？
This woman can be such a pain in the ass at times. Bringing my calisthenics to a halt for the moment, I stand up and turn to face Amane. Alright then, as you're clearly a professional woman of leisure, Miss Amane, please teach me how to make a delightful use of my Saturdays. I'm all ears. Very simple question, Amane. How do you spend your own free time? I think we got a preview of that when she was in our bed.
いやだから週末のアバンチュールを優雅に過ごしまくる人生の達人周防天音先生に素晴らしい余暇のエンジョイの仕方を伝授してもらおうと思ったんだが
I love Machina. I never said that.
それに何よその安いコピー。
アバンチュール処女解放そしてびっくり開花
Hey yo, wait, what?
こうさ、顔めがけて水平にチョップとか打っていいと思う？
Also, can we talk about that Machina face? What is going on? Don't ask me. How do you spend your weekends, Amane?
そこに話戻すんだね。戻すんだね。話。
Since you go around calling other people dull human beings, I'm sure you have some really interesting hobbies yourself, right? Spit it out.
週刊大人の隠れ家とかに特集されそうなパーフェクトな趣味なんでしょうな。さあ、どうぞ。
マキナ、後で覚えてなさいよ。私の趣味は掃除と洗濯と料理かな。
Those aren't hobbies. Those are chores. I mean, cooking can be a hobby, but I think in the way she's saying it, it sounds more like a chore. Drop my hands abruptly onto Amane's shoulders. I'm afraid you made a serious mistake here, my friend. Please allow me to explain in detail. Oh no.
ごめん、分かってるからやめて。
The things you just listed are not what we'd call hobbies.
ダメ、お願い言わないで。
Firmly maintaining my grip on Amane as she squirms around violently, I stare into her eyes, plaster on a fake smile, and deliver a blow of truth. Those are chores!
いやー、分かってたけど、改めて言われるとすごく惨めだ。
You must repent. Amane at last escapes my grasp. Collapsing to her knees, she hangs her head in shame. Machina trots over to Amane's side and gives her back a few commiserating thumps.
まあなんだ。そのうちチミにも生きがいってもんが見つかるかもしれんからそれまでは つまらない専業主婦でも頑張ってやってみるといいじゃないかね。しかし
I feel like being called a housewife would hurt extra coming from her.
やっぱりチョップをさ、こう
Well, you're the one raising the girl. Discipline her as you see fit. Anyways, with this level of instruction, it doesn't seem likely I'm going to find myself a hobby worth being proud of anytime soon.
昼間から何をギャーギャー騒いでるのよ。うるさくて起きちゃったじゃない。
Ichiro arrives on the scene. She's obviously been awake for several hours already. Probably thought our noise was a good excuse to be Nebi. By the way, Nebi would be Kansai slang for someone with a desperate need to stick their nose in other people's conversations. Oh my gosh. Hate people like that. I'm picking up a bit of stuff from Amane lately.
ユージの無趣味ぶりをみんなで弾劾してたのよ。
Okay, did you not just listen to our conversation? You don't have hobbies either.
趣味
I don't have anything particularly worthwhile to occupy my leisure time, which they decided to pester me about.
確かに。あんたは趣味とかなさそうよね。ずっと部屋で親指だけの腕立て伏せとかしてそうなイメージ。
I don't think he's quite that extreme, but maybe. I understand what she means, but at that point, wouldn't it technically be a finger stand? Of course, that's what he got out of that.
チルチルの趣味はオナニーだもんね。
おま、何言うのよ、いきなし。
I love how open they are about that.
だってチルチルが毎日することで習慣になりそうなのってそれぐらいしか思いつかないのよさ。
I don't know what would be more disturbing, if you were right about that, or the fact that that's what you picture on a daily basis, her doing. So you have a mental image of that in your mind.
ムッキー、あんたに私の何がわかるって言うのよ。そんなの毎日はしてないわよ。猿みたいな扱いをしないでくれる。
That's what they want you to think.
毎日じゃないにしてもしてるのは間違いないのよね。それはってユージがいる前でする話じゃないでしょ。
I wonder, like, statistically, like, how many people don't do that. Because, like, I feel like there's definitely more people that do on, like, a consistent basis. Not necessarily daily. Why am I talking about this? Anyways.
あら、私は堂々と言えるわよ。昨日だってユージのことを考えながらこう指で。
Oh, that doesn't surprise me at all by this point after the little show you gave us before.
うっとりした口調で明らかに誘うイメージでそんなことを言うな。ユージもなんとか言ったらどうなのよ。
Sorry, but what exactly am I supposed to say here?
そんなオナニーとか言わないようにしなさいとかそういうこと言ってたしなめればいいじゃないの。
で、チルチルは週に何回すんの？指？道具？
I love how she just shrank every time she mentioned something.
ユージをおかずにしてやったことある？七とか思い出せる？
Why is it still shrinking? Why is she sinking further? I'm concerned.
皆さん集まってミチル様のオナニーの話ですか？
I feel like Sachi's done a complete 180 as a character, and it's a wonderful thing to see.
もうここの建物ごと爆破してやりたい。ミチル様、爆破にはそれ相応の知識と資材が必要になってくるので、あまり現実的な手段とは言えませんよ。
There's the Sachi I know.
わーってるわよ、そんなこと。例え話を本気にしないでよ。申し訳ありません。ミチル様ならばやりかねないと思いまして。もう
Try to keep it down, will you? Well, since I've come here, I guess my leisure time has been increasingly filled with this sort of boisterous, trivial chat. Even in that alone, I think I've gained something from entering this school. By the way, where's Sakaki? Considering the topic of our conversation, I don't think she'd be sticking around for long even if she did drop by, but I haven't seen her box cutter girl even once today. I like how it said box cutter girl. Like, that's what she's known for. I mean, she kind of is. At a glance, her normal reserved seat next to the pillar at the edge of the lobby doesn't seem to have been disturbed recently.
今日出かけてるわよ。
She's out today. What do
大き
you
な
mean?
トートバッグを下げてましたね。かなり早い時間でした。
Carrying a large tote bag. Off topic real quick, but I noticed these two have very similar eye color.
そんなに早い時間に？
And her eyes are even kind of a similar color. I mean, she's got more of like a hue of purple in there, as you can kind of see above the blue, but she also has kind of blue eyes. Why does everybody here have blue eyes?
ええ、私がちょうど起きた時でしたから、5時過ぎぐらいでしょうか。
Yeah, it's early any way you look at it. One thing if you're a compulsive morning runner like me, but most people aren't going to wake up at that hour on a Saturday. Grade schoolers with their radio exercises, or old men doing Tai Chi for their blood pressure, maybe.
バッグの中、何入ってんだろ
She has blue eyes too. Yeah, everybody has blue eyes. Is that not weird to anybody else?
なんでしょうね。大量のカッターが入ってるとかでしょうか。
相変わらず謎よね、あの子は。というか、前にもこんな話したっけ、ここで。
We did now that you mention it. These words bring to mind the previous Sakaki incident, set off after a round of scary stories in the lobby. That affair shed light on one aspect of Sakaki's true nature, but not a particularly large or revealing one, and I haven't gained any further insight since. Sakaki's private life is as mysterious as always. Ooh, are we gonna get like some time with her to like get to know her better? As soon as we get back from school, she tends to lock herself up in her room. The rare occasions she does poke her head outside, she actively evades any real attempt at conversation. Now there's a question. How about Sakaki? What does she do with her free time? I mean, I know that she reads. Not that cut up on finding an answer to this question, but I can't deny the contrast between the shameless openness of the bunch and Sakaki's cloak of secrecy leaves me slightly interested.
ほなにかな。
Is that your answer to everything? Machina has red eyes, though. Why does everybody else have blue eyes, and you have red eyes?
あんたとりあえずそこから離れなさいよ。
I mean, I don't actually know what is like the predominant eye color in Japan. I feel like the US has a good variety. There's a lot of people with like green or brown eyes. I don't know.
何言ってんのさ。小、老、病、死。いずれもその根底にあるのは生の喜びなのよ。
Since when was Machina an expert on this?
なんでマキナはこんな子になっちゃったんだろう。
That echoes my thoughts exactly. Because this face is new. I don't think we've really seen much of this before.
悲しむのもわかるけど、これが現実だ。オッケー。私が悪いのかな。もっと肌の露出を減らさなきゃいけないのかな。あの子、教室では本読んでるじゃん。読書じゃないの？趣味。
Yeah, that's what I said.
それは違うと思います。
どうして？
榊さんは本を読んでいる素振りだけで、実際は読んでいないことが多々あります。決まった数ページを何度も繰り返したり、そもそもページをめくらなかったり、何日もずっと同じ本を読んでいたこともあります。
I mean, to be honest, when I was younger, I had that problem too. Like, sometimes, like, my brain would just keep rereading the same thing, like, unconsciously. Observant Sachi, bizarrely so.
はい。マキちゃんに言われて、一時期ずっと観察しておりましたから。
I mean, she does finish books, though. Doesn't she have a section in the library where she puts her finished books? Talking about the time we investigated Sakaki. Thought our mission wrapped up after we succeeded in startling the girl, exposing her scaredy cat nature and generally making life miserable for her. I do think she uses the books as like a cover to kind of listen in on conversations. I'll say that. I don't think that necessarily means that she doesn't like reading. I thought she was still on observation duty.
サッチンの調査能力は完璧なのよさ。
Sure they are, so try not to waste them on stupid crap, alright? At any rate, it seems the bookworm theory is fairly dubious.
ナイフアクションとか。カッターからの安易な発想よね、それ。だって他にないでしょ。歩いてるか座ってるか本読んでるかカッターで人に切りつけるかしかあの子の姿って見てないんだもん。
I mean, I know everybody here seems to think of Mishra as an idiot, but I'm actually agreeing with her on this one. I mean, I definitely think she has more going on under the surface, but those are the kind of things we see her doing in general. You know, I'm not denying that there's more to her. Scarper that concise Sakaki really does seem like quite the fearsome character, doesn't she?
まあいいじゃない。あの子だって人間なんだから、影でおなったり、エロ画像を集めたりしてるわよきっと。
Why has this topic been nothing but pleasuring yourself? Why does it keep going back to that? I think we're talking about leisure time and hobbies here, but somehow the topic of discussion seems to have shifted to Sakaki's sex life. How did that happen exactly?
暇で何もすることなかったらとりあえずエッチに走るんじゃないのかな。
Okay.
じゃあ何か榊さんに変化がありましたら皆さんにご報告いたしますね。
Okay, Sasha, that's not necessary. Really, truly not necessary.
はい、わかりました。ではしません。
I appreciate her willingness to do it, though. Last thing we need is this nonsense leading to something troublesome and making things awkward in the dorm. Sakaki wants to talk, she'll do it in her own time. It's not like I have any pressing need to know more about her, so I'm not gonna pry when she wants to be left alone.
あ、いっけね。洗濯物洗ったまま干すの忘れてた。じゃあ私戻るね。
Honey patters off towards her room. Sachi and Makina rise off the couch and follow suit, but before I can get up myself, Mitru slides up with an inquiring look on her face.
どうしたの？ユミコのことが気になってる？
No, not particularly. I only stuck around because I've been planning to continue my calisthenics. But Mitru ignores my answer to her question, draws her own conclusions, and forges ahead with this one-sided excuse for a conversation.
まあ気になるんだったら早朝にでも入り口で貼っておけばご本人に直接確認できるんじゃない？
Mitru, why are you giving me advice? I'm suspicious of you, especially with that smug grin on your face. I feel like you have ulterior motives. I have better things to do with my time.
へえ、ついさっき無趣味ぶりをさらけ出したばっかりなのに。
She has a point. You wanna talk down to me, I'd suggest you first find a hobby other than masturbation, Mitru.
だからそっから離れろって言ってんでしょ。やる？みちる様、本当にオナニーが趣味だったんですか？みちる様。
Oh my gosh, we're still
人生長
going.
いんだからそういう時期だってあるさ。猿のようにたけってオナニーにふけり次の目標を考えるんだなみちるくん。
Why did these two appear again? I thought they left.
ああ、何か口に詰め込んで死なない程度に苦しめられるものとか落ちてないかしら。
Looking furiously at her blonde head, Mitru shrieks a desperate entreaty to the heavens. In the end, our discussion about Sakaki's private life was diverted to the usual headache-inducing nonsense before we could reach any real conclusions. It never wasn't anything besides headache-inducing nonsense. Not that it was a topic of especially great interest to me in the first place. A few sets of push-ups later, and I'd mostly forgotten about the whole thing. I like how we went from the lobby to the lobby. Guess I'm up a bit early. Oh, this must be the next morning is why. Probably because yesterday had been a fairly light day. I found myself awake earlier than usual. I like that's a bad thing, though. More time for a little calisthenics before my run. Hobbies, huh? As I run through my stretches, I find myself thinking about the conversation we had yesterday. I guess dull is in fact an objectively appropriate word for someone who uses all his free time to exercise. From a conventional viewpoint, training your body might well qualify as a hobby of sorts. But in my case, I'm maintaining a tool I need for my profession. Training is just a part of the job for me. Yes, I basically have no hobbies. I think my personality is mostly to blame. Nothing really tends to capture my interest that strongly, or for that long. At that point, I may have something in common with Sakaki. By all appearances, she keeps everything and everyone at arm's length, maybe because she's decidedly uninterested in learning more. Come to think of it, didn't they say Sakaki? The sentence halfway in my mouth, I sensed someone behind me and turned to face them. Sakaki's standing by the entrance, staring at me in surprise. It's a bulky tote bag lying at her feet. I can tell at a glance that it's stuffed full of various items, to catch a glimpse of thin wooden objects sticking out of the top.
早いのね。
For what?
起きる時間がよ。
At this point, the conversation from yesterday comes to mind again. Not as much as Sakaki's habit of leaving the dorm early in the morning by herself, Apart from the large bag she always carries on these trips, no one has any clues as to what she's getting up to. Not that I'm particularly interested, but the flow of the conversation seems to call for a little probing. You're up early yourself, Sakaki. Where are you off to? I tried to phrase the question pretty casually. It certainly didn't sound too pushy coming out of my mouth. I also was just trying to draw her into a little small talk, but... Sakaki purses her lips for a moment before she speaks.
別に私が何をしようが勝手でしょ。
Sentence she finally fires off some manages to be simultaneously sharp and blunt. What have we got here, Sakaki? Is a failure to communicate.
どういうことかしら。
I asked, where are you off to, and you responded, what I do is no one's business. That's the answer to a slightly different question. You were probably feeling self-conscious about whatever it is you're going off to do, and ended up mishearing what I was asking.
あなたのそういうすぐ上げ足を取る言い方不快だわ。
Sadly, it's not really a habit. I was born this way. Okay, Lady Gaga.
とにかくもう聞かないでちょうだい。
Alright, I won't ask you about this again. Sakaki's face fills with genuine confusion. She's clearly surprised by this ready concession to her demand.
それじゃあ失礼するわ。
Yeah, see you later. Sorry to bother you. As Sakaki heads for the exit, I turn around and begin my calisthenics again. As I'm sitting on the floor and beginning to stretch out my arms, I realize I haven't heard her leave the building yet. What's up? You need something?
なんでもないわ。
Wonder if she was debating actually telling us what it was, whatever it was that she's doing. I feel like there's a little bit of hesitation there, like she kind of wanted to. Sakaki throws open the door in apparent irritation and immediately leaves the room.
怪しいわね。
何をしようとしているんでしょうか。
Oh my gosh, of course you guys are all listening in because you have nothing better to do.
あの荷物気になるのよさ。
やっぱり武器とか入ってたんじゃないの？
Well, there's a bunch of wooden objects, right? What were you watching? You've all got too much time in your hands. That's what I'm saying. 10 seconds of Sakaki's exit, the four emerge from their hiding places around the lobby. Wait, were they all around the room? Don't tell me you actually went out of your way to wake up early so you could watch her leave. Lily does her best impression of a mischievous child caught with one hand in the cookie jar. Kind of unpleasant to watch.
なんか昨日の流れでちょっと気になっちゃってね。
みんな考えることは同じだったんですね。
I mean, to be fair, even Yuji kind of had the idea. I mean, maybe subconsciously.
ユージがもうちょっと押せばユミコきっと言ってたよ。あの流れだったら。
Sorry, but I'm just not that interested. In the first place, if it was something Sakaki would feel comfortable talking about, I'm sure she would have responded differently to my casual question. The blunt refusal to talk probably means she has her reasons for keeping her activities to herself. Not so irrepressibly curious as to pester her on a sensitive topic, especially when she's not going to reveal anything anyways.
あの荷物だよ。あそこに組み立て式の羽とか変な光る棒とか衣装が入ってて、人知れずユミちゃんはそれに着替えてコスプレとかしているのよさ。
Something tells me that's not it, but... Grounds for this deduction?
普段が目立たない地味無口キャラだから休日ぐらいはきっと羽を伸ばしたいと思ってるに違いないのよ。だから文字通り羽をどや。
So you think because around her peers she appears to be boring that she kind of has to have some outlet for that? I don't think that's like a terrible deduction. I mean, it's not really based on anything we've seen, but maybe. Only if you're so kind as to shut her up now.
しんどいしつけだけ母親に押し付ける父親って嫌われるよ。
Wait, what do you mean by that?
どうしましょうか、風見さん。調査するのでしたら命じていただければすぐにでも。
No, I don't think there's any reason to put your ninja skills to the test today.
つまんない。
If you want to know that badly, Michiru, go tell her yourself, one-on-one.
みちる相手だったら初手からいきなり刃物もありえるわよね。
I mean, it's kind of hard to hide that giant head of hair.
血を見ることになりそうですね。みちる様のお体が心配ですが、自ら選んだ道でしたら致し方ありません。覚悟します。やるっつってねえでしょ。勝手に覚悟完了すんじゃないわよ。
大 命は一つじゃない。チルチルなら3つぐらいに切られてもそれぞれが真ミチルとなって生まれ変われるのよさ。
She's an alien. Maybe she can do that.
プラナリア？ちょっとマキナ、あんた私をプラナリア扱いか。
Look, I'd really like to exercise at some point, if you don't mind. Yo. Later that same day, shortly after finishing my outdoor training, I happen to be doing some cool-down exercises in the dorm lobby just as Sakaki returns. Holding her bag in the shadow cast by her own body, as if consciously trying to hide it from view. Sorry about this morning. Oh, I'm gonna take a guess as to what she's doing. I think she has a part-time job. That's gonna be my guess. It's some kind of job. First off, as an apology for my earlier rudeness, seems called for. Is that supposed to be uncalled for? Sakaki offers a vague non-response, squirming awkwardly where she stands. Alright, I'll see you later. I turn her way and restart my calisthenics. But Sakaki doesn't move a muscle. Sakaki? When I call out to her for the second time, Sakaki flinches in surprise and shoots me a fierce glare.
どうもしないわ。どうもしない。
Clearly talking to herself rather than me, she stomps off in the direction of her room. After Sakaki's vanished from view, I'm still staring after her. The girl might not have said much of anything to me just now, but it's obvious she's strangely tense. Wonder if something's wrong. As I'm puzzling over the matter, a certain woman of unusual proportions appears out of nowhere.
なんかちょっと話したそうだったね、榊さん。
Why did he describe her like that? Bonnie approaches me with a knowing smirk on her face. Oh yeah, I didn't get that feeling personally.
それはユージが基本的に鈍感なだけよ。
Rather than sitting on the sofa, Bonnie drops herself cross-legged onto the ground. Throwing her face close to me as I exercise, as if to give me a whiff of her perfume, she continues.
ねえ、ってどうなの？榊さんにちょっとは興味出たの？
Why do you guys all have stars on your face today? Exactly what in the conversation now just suggested that to you?
あるからそんな思わせぶりな態度をとってるのかと思ったのよ。あえて踏み込まず、榊さんからやってくるのを待つというか。
I don't know about you, but I don't approach my relationships with other people as if they were a fish I'm trying to catch.
あらやだ、私はしないわよ、そんなこと。やるならもっと直接攻撃の方が性に合ってるわ。
True, full frontal certainly seems more plausible in your case. Sorry I misjudged you.
半分は天然で言ってるんだろうけど、ユージって時々本当にひっぱたきたくなるわね。
Sadly, I was born this way.
にしてもさ、榊さんって本当に何してんだろうね。誰にもほとんど関わらず一人でいるし、辛くならないのかな。
Oh. Well, I guess being alone is less the painful choice sometimes. Okay, that was rather abrupt.
はい、では今日はこれで終わります。
Oh, hello there.
起立。
A weekend behind us, we're back in the classroom. As the day's lessons reach their conclusion, Sachi leads us in the formal bow that marks the end of every school day. Weekdays are nice and simple. Given a set schedule, I can coast peacefully through it without having to worry about how I'm spending my time, or being insulted over my lack of interest. Shoulder my bag and leave the classroom. After dropping my stuff off in my room, I find myself heading to the roof of the dormitory for no reason in particular. When I can't think of anything to do with myself, sometimes I'll search out places where I can be alone and look at the sky. I know, and you have like the most amazing view. I wouldn't say that I prefer solitude, but every once in a while I'm seized with the need to get a break from the clamor of daily life, which has been very noisy indeed lately. I swing the door open, I realize there's someone already on the roof. Instant I set foot outside, she's staring at me with a slightly suspicious look on her face.
またあなたなの？
Alright, but we do live in the same building. We're gonna run into each other sometimes.
別に悪いと責めているわけじゃないけど。
So, can I come up?
私が決めることじゃないわ。
I think obtain Sakaki's ascent. I stand beside the handrail and gaze up into the sky. It's a vivid shade of blue today. The sun shines powerfully down on us. I can feel heat rising off the iron railing in front of me. For a moment, Sakaki turns to me and breaks the silence.
ね
Hi?
え、ひょっとして立ったまま寝ているの？あなた。
No, I'm awake.
何も言わないから寝ているのかと思ったわ。
Did you prefer me to talk about something or ask you some questions?
別にいいわ。そんなことしなくても。
I see. In that case, I guess I'll do what I feel like.
あ、
Sakaki tilts her head back slightly and gazes into the sky for a long moment. The long hair catches the sea breeze and flutters like a flag.
よくここには来るのかしら。
How do you ask?
前にもここで会ったじゃないの。
True, but now that you mention it. I lean forward and grip the warm iron railing with both hands as I speak. Every once in a while, I guess, I just like to look at the sky by myself.
あなたがらしくないわ。
Really is every once in a while. Anyways, that's the only reason I come up here.
そう。
Everyone has times when they want to be alone, right?
それは私に向かって聞いてるの。
No, we're talking about me here. Sunlight today really is powerful, very much a midsummer day. The shadow of a kite flying overhead moves slowly across the roof, wings and beak clearly defined against the concrete. As I follow the shadow's movements with my eyes, Sakaki blurts out unexpected words.
あなた聞かないのね。
About what?
私が休みの日に外で何をしているのかを。
Sakaki turns her face ever so slightly towards me as she speaks.
ああやって早朝から出て行ったら何をしているのか聞こうとするものじゃないかしら。
Yeah, I did ask, remember?
でもそれから一切聞こうとしなかったじゃない。
You told me you didn't want to talk about it, so I haven't brought it up since then.
え、
He's like somebody who respects boundaries? Change your mind about that, I assume you let me know. I'm not looking to stick my nose in other people's business. Turn my head slightly towards Sakaki, meeting her gaze out of the corner of my eye. With the exception of when somebody wants me to. Policy isn't limited to Sakaki. I'm trying not to interfere with any of the students here more than necessary. I don't dislike any of them, and I don't have any reason to go out of my way to avoid them. But all the same, I don't have any real reason to get closer to them. That said, when they're the ones approaching me, there's no need to reject them either. I'm trying to maintain the subtle balance as my master taught me. Sakaki stares steadily at my face. Her expression lies somewhere between puzzlement and curiosity. I don't know what's gotten her interest all of a sudden, but it's clearly different from her usual apathetic gaze. What is it? At my question, Sakaki exhales lightly and closes her eyes.
何でもないわ。
I think there's something that's alluring when you're used to getting maybe like constant attention. I feel like this way with celebrities. Like there's something that's nice about somebody that you meet. Maybe if you're used to people wanting to talk to you all the time, somebody who like really doesn't care, you know? You kind of see that in like anime and things like that. Sometimes the main character or the main love interest gets attracted to somebody who doesn't really, you know, want them back necessarily. You want what you can't have. Sakaki abruptly walks away from the railing and heads for the stairs. Halfway there, she briefly pauses and looks back in my direction.
部屋に戻るわ。
Right. In my concise response, Sakaki's expression again takes on a shade of amusement.
あなた変わってるわね。本当に。
For some reason, I get that a lot. Honestly, can't understand why. For a moment, there's a rare smile on Sakaki's face.
それじゃ。
Yeah. Sakaki opens the iron door and disappears inside the door. The cat I've been watching draws a lazy arc in the sky as if to wave farewell and then floats out of sight. The sun begins its slow descent towards the horizon as the evening approaches. I push myself back from the railing and walk slowly towards the stairs, feeling the sun-warmed concrete underneath my feet. An odd one, huh? Don't know if you're one to talk. Your hypocrisy is kind of charming. Feels like I've been lectured about drinking too much by an alcoholic. For some reason, I feel like I've warmed up to Sakaki a bit. Maybe we've got more in common than I realize. It was certainly an odd conversation. It was very much one of those not much was said, but a lot was said kind of things. Oh gosh, what are you guys doing? Crying out for justice. I'm an ally of justice, Buster.
こっちだってば。つうか正義関係ないし。どこ？ここだっつの。ああ、重たかった。あまね。
どうしたのよその大荷物。
いや調子に乗って買いすぎちゃった。
あんたね、一人で一体どんだけ買い物してんのよ。
私一人の分じゃないってば。マキナの分とユージの分と。あ、そうだみちる、あんたちょっと付き合ってくれない？照英さんで卵 L サイズ10個98円、お一人様1パックまで。
98 yen for a 10 pack? For a second, I thought she meant like 10 packs of eggs. I'm like, that's a lot. If it's just 10 eggs, then, you know, that's a fine deal. You used to be able to find deals like that all the time.
まだ買うの？
卵って何にでも使えるし、あると安心するっていうか、冷蔵庫開けた時卵が少ないと不安にならない？
ならないし。っていうか、なくなったら買いに行けばいいじゃない。
私はそれが嫌なのよ。食べ物はいつだって余ってるぐらいじゃないと落ち着かないの。いいから付き合ってよ。ツンデレなんでしょ？
I definitely like to have more food than not. But maybe that's just like a food insecurity thing.
は？ツンデレと卵に何の関係が？
いいから早く、タイムセールが終わっちゃ
う。もう仕方がないわね。付き合ってあげるわよ。
そう、それそれ。やっぱりツンデレってそうでなきゃね。
何よそれ。あんたツンデレバカにしてんでしょ。
What proud history?
してないって。うふふ。
うふふ言うな。
So, obviously I'm not from Japan, but does anybody find the sound of cicadas kind of nostalgic? I feel like I heard it a lot in kind of like older animes. So, you know, as I was growing up and I kind of got a taste of anime before I really like knew what it was and got more involved in it. I always remember the sound of cicadas. You know, especially like as a teenager, right? That's probably where I would have heard it. And I don't know, there's just something like nice about that sound. It makes me feel like summer. And we don't really have many cicadas, I think, here in the US. I think they are here, but I don't really hear them too much. But I don't know, it's a nice sound.
ただいまって、ここあんたの部屋じゃないじゃん。
Living in the South, I definitely heard a lot of bugs. I don't know if those are necessarily cicadas, though.
あれ、ユージいないの？まあいいか。みちる、そっちの袋も貸して。冷蔵庫に。
勝手に冷蔵庫まで開けてさ。なんかもう自分の部屋のノリだよね。
She's done this since before we even got here.
そう？いいじゃん。どうせろくなもの入ってないんだし。私の部屋、冷蔵庫小さいんだもの。突っ立ってないで座ったら？お茶ぐらい出すよ。
あ、うん。
麦茶でいいよね。はい。
Why the fuck is she naked? You guys are having tea. Why is she naked?
ありがとう。っておい！
びっくりした。何よ、急に大きな声出して。
何脱いでんのよ。なんで脱いでんのよ。
I swear, she's gonna say, I'm hot.
2回言った。
そんなツッコミはいらん。なぜ脱ぐ？
だって帰ってきたら着替えるでしょ、普通。
Okay, well, not the response I expected, but I don't know. Would you say you guys like are uncomfortable wearing your outside clothes, I guess? Or like if you've been outside that day and then like sitting in your bed, does that make you uncomfortable? I feel like I've heard a lot of people don't like to do that. They feel like, oh, I'm making the bed super dirty. And I'm like, I could care less. I sometimes wear my clothes all day and then I sleep in my bed in those same clothes. I don't even like change or nothing. I don't care. Doesn't bother me.
いや、そりゃそうかもしれないけど、ここあんたの部屋じゃないし。男の部屋に来るなり即パージってどうなのよ。
It's probably wouldn't be the first time she's done this.
別に裸のままでいるわけじゃないし、ちゃんと私服に着替えるわよ。
Like, do you not wear a bra, or are you changing your bra too? Like, I'm so
ゆうか
confused.
さ、なんでこの部屋にあまねの私服があるのよ。あんたらあれ付き合ってんの？同棲してんの？なんでベッドの上にブラが脱ぎ捨ててあるの？聞きたいこと。ごめんね、散らかってて。
This is why I hate playing the version with the patch, though, because, like, the patch pretty much just removes underwear. That's what it did.
いいけどさ、気のせいかな。ユージの私物よりあんたの私物の方が多くない？つうか、本当に何にもないんだね、この部屋。テレビもないし。
It probably included, like, one bit of story information that was maybe semi-important, and then the rest of it was just removing clothes.
部屋を出れば目の前の談話室にテレビあるしね。私物といえばバックパックが一つあるぐらい？何が入ってるのかは知らないけど。あ、ねえ、こっちの部屋は？あ、そこは開けちゃダメよ。ユージ本気で怒るから。なんで？言ってみれば、その1畳半の部屋がユージの私室なのよ。
I like how our room isn't our private room.
だってここクローゼットだよ。何があるの？
We have to have a private room in our supposedly private room.
だから開けちゃダメだってば。それに開けても別に何もないわよ。本当に？一度だけ中を覗いたことがあるけど、紙くずが散らばってるだけで何もなかったわよ。何もないなら見てもいいんじゃない？たとえ空っぽだったとしても、見られたくない場所っていうか、深入りしてほしくない場所ってあるじゃない？
Apparently not you, Amane, because you just stripped down in somebody else's room.
前に私が入った時、そこには入るなってすっごい怒られたもの。何それ？さあ、例えるならそう、携帯のメールボックスとかかな。勝手に見られたら気分悪いでしょ？
Yeah, I see your point. It's not like I have necessarily, like, a lot to hide. But yeah, it's like some things you just want to be private. Like, it's my life. I don't want you peering into my life unless I let you.
空っぽなのに？空っぽのメールボックスを見られたくないんじゃないかな。わけわかんない。ユージの過去でも詰まってるんだよ、きっと。はあ？触れられたくないものって意味で。ああ、そう言われちゃうとまあ私にもそういう部分がないわけでもないし。でしょ？だからそこはそっとしておいてあげてよね。分かったわよ。そんなことより晩ご飯の用意しなくちゃ。今晩は餃子にしようと思うんだけど。
Oh,
みちる、あんたも手伝ってくれない？
that sounds really good.
ちょっと、あんた夕飯の面倒まで見てるの？
Mitru, where have you been?
どうせマキナの分も作るし、手間は一緒だもの。暇なら餃子包むの手伝ってよ。なんで餃子？あいつ餃子が好きなの？うんにゃ？好きとか嫌いとかはあんまりないかな。何作っても食べるし。でもお肉はあんまり喜ばないわね。まあエビ餃子なら喜んで食べるかな。私餃子なんて作ったことないわよ。マキナに手伝わせなさいよ。
I mean, that's the perfect time to learn then.
あの子練り物系はダメなのよね。具で粘土遊びを始めるから。
Yeah, I could see her getting distracted when it comes to food.
じゃあサチを呼べばいいじゃない。なんで私なのよ。たまには次女にもお料理教えてあげようかなってね。いいからこっちいらっしゃいな。次女？長女は料理なんてからっきしでカップ麺ぐらいしか作れないし、三女は生真面目だから教えれば覚えるけど、餃子なんか包ませたらそれこそ無限に包み続けるぐらい没頭しちゃうし、末っ子はさっき言ったように料理と粘土遊びの区別がついてないしね。だから次女？っていうか私ってあまねの中じゃ次女なのね。ガサツだし 大雑把だし、性格がねじくれててあんまり可愛くはないけれど、一番女の子らしいのは次女だと思ってるわよ。
It's interesting that she says that. I'm like, yeah, she kind of is the girliest of the bunch in a way.
それ、褒めてるの？もちろん。それじゃまず下ごしらえしちゃおっか。だから私は料理なんかしたことないんだってば。簡単だって。キャベツと白菜を軽く湯通しして、タケノコの水煮とニラを混ぜて、ひき肉の代わりにエビのすり身をつなぎにしたあんを作って、市販の皮で包んでいくだけだから。っていうかさ、何にもない部屋の割に調理道具だけはやけに揃ってるのね。まあね。大きいお鍋とか部屋に置いてあると邪魔なものは全部こっちに持ってきちゃってるし。それって単純にこの部屋を物置にしてるだけじゃないの？まあいいじゃないの。そのおかげで美味しいご飯食べられるんだから。お塩取って。塩？塩ってこれ？そうそれ。なんかでっかい粒が入ってるけど、何これ？ああ、いり米よ。乾燥剤の代わりに缶入りしたお米が入ってるの。何それ？おばあちゃんの知恵？あまねってさ、そういうところババ臭いわよね。なんでよ。生活の知恵ってやつでしょ。はい、ズキョーンと。
Hey, I trust Japanese cooking, okay? Because they live to be really old. So they must be doing something right.
うわ！なんか意外と雑！包丁使わないの？おバカね。毎日料理するのに手間かけてどうするのよ。家庭料理のコツはどれだけ手抜きをするかがポイントなのよ。そんなもの？餃子なんて難しいって思うかもしれないけど、小学生でも作れるわよ。確かになんか簡単そうに作ってるわよね。ズギョーンって。マキナにはいつも教えてることなんだけど、大切なのは工夫をしないこと。レシピ通りに作ればまず失敗なんてしないんだから。
Oh, believe me, I can follow a recipe and still fail sometimes.
初心者が料理で失敗する理由の8割はレシピを無視した工夫という名の独自解釈よ。なるほど。私はプロだから工夫するけどね。何入れた？今何入れたのよ。ああ、ウーロン茶。餃子のあんにウーロン茶を入れるとさっぱりして美味しくなるのよ。本当に？なんかべちゃべちゃになってない？このべちゃべちゃがええんやないの。ユージ、ウーロン茶好きだしね。そんな理由？なんか雑！さて、あとは包んで焼くだけ。どう？簡単でしょ？
I mean, my mom used to do that growing up. She would like kind of try different things sometimes, and sometimes they were really good and sometimes they were bad, you know? And I think even my wife does that sometimes. She's like, I'm just gonna do it this way. And you know what? It usually turns out okay. So.
っていうかいいの？こんな適当で。それに包むのが難しいんじゃ。
I don't know. Every time I cook and I try to do it like a slightly different way, not good.
平気平気。欲張って具をいっぱい詰めようとするから失敗するんだって。具なんてティースプーン1杯分入ってりゃいいのよ。あとは指にお水つけてちゃっちゃと閉じるだけ。いいからとりあえずやってみ。そうそう、そんな感じ。表になる側をパタパタと畳んでいけばちゃんと形になるでしょ。あ、本当だ。意外となんとかなるでしょ。じゃあその調子で4人前で40個パッパと作っちゃおうか。ふむふむ。これちょっと楽しいかも。サチの気持ち少しわかるわ。おっと、長男のお帰りだわ。
Real quick before we get to Yuji, I do think that cooking with somebody is a lot more fun than cooking by yourself.
長男？おかえり、ユージ。遅かったじゃん。どこで何してたの？
The big sister role player is at it again. Told you reception on the TV in the lobby was getting bad, didn't I? Sachi and I were trying to fix the antenna.
へえ、そんで治ったの？
Yeah, although we ended up having to replace the antenna. Look, forget me. What are you two doing in here?
見りゃわかるでしょ？晩ご飯の用意よ。今夜は餃子だよ。
I'm asking what you're doing that. Why you're doing that in my room.
いいじゃん別に。あんたの分も作ってあげてるし。
I don't remember asking for any.
でも、あれば食べるでしょ？
Well, can't let food go to waste.
素直じゃないな。食べたら食べたで美味しいって言うくせに、そういうのをツンデレって言うんだよ。ね、みちる？
そっか。ちょっとユージ、別にあんたのために作ってるんじゃないんだからね。自分の分を作るついでよ。ついで勘違いしないでよね。
This feels so forced.
あんたってさ、時々自分がツンデレだってこと忘れるよね。
そんなことないわよ。
Well, fine. Try not to make too much of a mess in here, okay?
どこ行くの？
Just gonna buy some oolong tea.
ああ、そろそろなくなる頃だと思ったから買っておいたよ。冷蔵庫に入ってる。
I see. Appreciate it.
ねえ、アマね。あんたってさ、そういうとこちゃんと年上の女なのよね。感心するわ。
何よ急に改まって。
ちょっとユージ、
What now?
ちょっとあんた、当たり前みたいな顔してウーロン茶ゴブゴブ飲んでんじゃないわよ。分かってんの？アマネがいるおかげであんたはそうやって普通に生活できてんのよ。それを忘れんじゃないわよ。
Yeah, I guess. Can't forget the front lines are only possible through the support of the supply units and paymasters.
またあんたはそうやってわけのわからないこと言って本当にわかってんの？
Well, to be honest, I have no idea why you've gotten angry all of a sudden. Sorry.
私に謝ってどうすんのよ。アマネに感謝をしなさい。アマネに。
I don't really get it, but Amani, thank you very much for everything you do, I guess.
どういたしまして？
なんであんたまで語尾が疑問系なのよ。
だって別にお礼を言われるようなことした覚えないしねえ。
Might not seem like much to you, Amani, but to certain people who feel self-conscious about never doing anything for anyone else, I expect buying some tea looks like a truly heroic act of charity.
なんだよもう。
I love that he had to get in a dig at her. What do you want from me?
アマネに感謝しなさいよもう。そんで餃子作った私にも感謝しなさいよもう。
Oh, is that all? Of course. I'm grateful to you both. I appreciate it, Michiru.
なんか納得いかないけど、まあいいわ。今日のところはこれぐらいで勘弁してあげるわよ。
Soon after, the wafting scent of frying gyoza lured Makina to my room. Sachi, concerned to find Michiru's room empty, also stopped by before long. At that point, we adopted a resolution to invite Sakuki as well, initiated an extraordinary increase in dumpling production, and engaged in the gyoza pig-out party. Gosh, part of the text is just cut off. The Mihama female gyoza corps was then established under the command of Suo Amane, Exo Komene Sachi. To pursue these objectives, all members hurriedly scrapped together ingredients from their fridges. Our goal was set at 120. The result of this emergency production varied widely in quality. There were a number of respectable dumplings filled with relatively appropriate things like bean jam or cheese. Also some truly bizarre results such as fish stick gyoza and wiener gyoza. Well, Kanye West would be excited if he was here. Soon dozens of dumplings were arrayed in front of the hot plate. Much like the weapons brought to battle by an army on the verge of defeat, the variation was rich, if not the quality. We began testing a wide range of dipping sauces as well, leading to an even stranger combination of taste. Fortunately, Makina quickly complained that eaten them plain tastes better. The group's experimental spirit restrained at last. The gyoza pig-out party drew to a close without any major casualties. I like how he just expects every event to have casualties. There's an old proverb. Once 3 women gather, things get noisy. It happens to be a lie. The truth of the matter is, 1 woman is enough for things to get noisy. Amen. Females are capable of holding a lengthy conversation with a wall. Get 3 such creatures together and you're solidly beyond noisy and into migraine inducing. Conversation between men is a very efficient thing. Step 1, both sides communicate their business. There's no step 2. Gosh, I was having a very long, drawn-out conversation last night with my friends that was supposed to be helping one of our friends with some homework for a class that he really doesn't want to do because it has nothing to do with his major. So we were kind of helping him kind of BS that. And then it turned into a 3-hour-long conversation about politics and trains and cars and life. It was very to the point, but I don't know, just... anyways, with women it's a different story, but they got to the point. The conversation will be diverted into the subject of dieting, which then develops into a chat about cosmetics. From there, the topic will shift to TV programs and celebrities, perhaps followed by an exchange of opinions on popular sweets. After a stopover at the old standby, love gossip things will come to a full circle to more dieting talk. Whatever the original point of the conversation may have been, it's buried under the bewildering blizzard of topics, never to be seen again. Then again, maybe I was just looking at it the wrong way. Seems entirely plausible the female conversation is pointless by design. Worse, I'm something of a monogamous spirit, so I do my best to endure these unproductive chats if necessary. But then there comes to an end to every limit. Once my tolerance has exceeded, my usual coping method is to shut down my brain, then repeat I see, amazing, and not your fault every time I sense a pause in the verbal onslaught. In many cases, this proves sufficient. On one memorable occasion, I weathered a conversation with a woman for a good 4 hours using nothing but these 3 phrases.
風見さんもそう思っていただけたんですね。
I see.
それでは決定事項とさせていただきます。
Amazing.
クオリティが低くならないように努力します。
Oh no, I feel like this is the worst person to just casually, like, not pay attention. Not your fault. Fortunately, there are also times when my strategy doesn't work out so well.
ねえ、いいの？あんなこと OK しちゃって。まさか適当に答えてたわけじゃないでしょうね。
What a ridiculous accusation. I was listening to every word. Literally lying.
じゃあ何を話してたか説明してみなさいよ。
Let's see, something about how Sachi hates pickles, or was it parsley?
全然違う。ほらね、聞いてないじゃない。
I think my concentration may have slipped ever so slightly, probably because I got so caught up in reading that new novel last night. I didn't notice during my morning training routine, but apparently I didn't get enough sleep. Must have flipped the mental kill switch without even realizing it. Forced my brain out of hibernation mode and stared Michiru in the eyes. Alright, honestly I wasn't paying attention in the slightest, therefore I have no idea whatsoever as to what the conversation was about. Not even a shred of a clue. You got a problem with that?
ちょっと、なんでそんな偉そうなのよ。
All I remember is the discussion was some pointless small talk at the beginning. Hardly a big deal if I did space out.
あ、そう。別にあんたがそれでいいなら構わないけど、後悔しても知らないからね。
I feel like we're gonna regret this.
恥
Crying?
ずかしいよ、恥ずかしいよって言って泣きついても、私は慰めてあげないんだからね。
It's embarrassing. What? Sorry, I have no idea what you're talking about.
ちゃんと聞いてないからでしょ。
This might be trouble.
風見さん、先ほどの件なのですが、
Yeah, about that.
サイズの方を測らせていただいてもよろしいですか？万が一長さが足りないということになると大変ですから。
Yeah, very true. Gotta have sufficient length.
はい、もしそうなったら使えなくなってしまいます。
Right, wouldn't be usable.
それでは失礼させていただきます。
Are we still not paying attention? For customary finesse, Sachi takes my measurements. The skillful, efficient moves of her hands remind me of a maid gracefully pouring tea. Her refined motions possess something of the special charm unique to the work of true artisans. Truly impressive. Can I ask you one question?
何でしょうか？
You're measuring for the length of what exactly?
紐です。
Strap, eh?
それでは作業に取り掛かりますので失礼いたします。
I don't like the sound of this. I really am concerned with what we just agreed to. Show me what you can do. I expect precision to the millimeter.
はい、ありがとうございます。風見さんに似合うようにサメさんポーチを一生懸命作らせていただきます。
What? Sachi, hold on. Wait, Sachi. Sachi trots off, oblivious. My voice doesn't seem to register as I find myself alone. The gravity of the situation at last begins to sink in. A shark pouch that will look perfect on me. By shark pouch, she's presumably referring to something like the vaguely fish-shaped fanny pack Michiru's always wearing. Okay, that much I understand, but one that will look perfect on me. What exactly is that supposed to mean? Slowly, carefully draw out my vague memories of the conversation I sleepwalked through earlier. Cool draft of air was flowing into the hallway through an open window, refreshing as a mountain breeze after a long hike. I walked down the corridor, lost in my thoughts. I was surprised by an agitated yelp. It's reminiscent of the high-pitched shrieks emitted by cartoon animals back in the earliest days of sound films. I to confirm the situation, prepared for the remote possibility of an emergency. Instead, I found Michiru sprawled out on all fours, her face planted on the ground. Apparently, she was cleaning the floor with her tongue. How admirable! A face mop, eh? That brings back memories. I had to clean a few always that way myself back in my old school. Ew.
そんな特殊な方法で掃除するわけないでしょ。転んだのよ。いったったった。
I looked down. A number of canisters were strewn all over the floor. They resembled Michiru's containers of Ramune candy. Apparently this was an attempt at cleaning. After all, they must have fallen out of her shark pouch when she fell. In an attempt to be polite, I bent over to help her pick them up, but Michiru hurriedly snatched the nearest canister away from my hand.
私が自分で拾うからいいの。触らないでよね。
If you say so.
これジッパーのとこが少しバカになってるのよね。
お呼びですね、みちる様。
どっから出てきたの？
偶然近くを通りかかったものですから。
そうなの？でもちょうどいいわ。これのジッパーの部分直しておいてくれない？
はい、喜んで。それにしてもこのサメさん可愛いですよね。
まあね。そうよね。
このようなアイテムは人を選ぶと思うのですが、その点みちる様はとてもよくお似合いです。風見さんはどう思われますか？
We get to see this great dialogue. Yes, cute. Michiru has reached the pinnacle of shark cheek.
サメに
Now that I think about it, at this point I was already mostly tuned out of the conversation. Once a female speaks the word cute, in most cases the discussion is going to get painfully lengthy and repetitive. Fighting with my drowsiness from insufficient sleep, this instinctive judgment quickly set my mind in hibernation mode.
へえ、あんたもこういうの好きなの？
Yeah.
それは見かけによらずです。
Really?
もしかしてあんたもこれ実は欲しいなーって思ってるんじゃないでしょうね。
I see.
本当にサメさんをお望みであれば、私が作らせていただきますが。
Amazing.
ちょっと私が冗談で言ったのが悪かったわよ。この
Not your fault.
本当に
みちる様、風見さんは本当にサメさんポーチを望んでおられるようです。
そうなの？目が若干うつろだけど本当にそうなの？適当。
みちる様、それは間違っています。風見さんは返事を適当にする人ではありません。風見さん、私にサメさん作らせてください。
I love the confidence she has in us. I see.
しかも風見さん用にラインストーンをつけてさらに可愛くキラキラにさせていただきます。だから毎日しっかり着用してくださいませんか？
Amazing.
そうとユージ、私が悪かったってば。この子本当に作っちゃうわよ。そしたら毎日キラキラをぶら下げて生活することになるのよ。キラブラ生活なのよ。それでもいいの
Not your fault.
みちる様、きっと風見さんはこう見えて大のファンシー好きでありキラキラ好きなんです。このサメさんにはラインストーンが似合う。風見さんもそう思っていただけたんですね。
I see.
それでは決定事項とさせていただきます。
Amazing.
クオリティが低くならないように努力します。
Not your fault. Somehow it seems the conversation concluded with me sentenced to wear a sparkly shark fanny pack at all times. Gently close my eyes to imagine the result. A sparkly lifestyle, as they say in Hollywood, a life of glitter. Although I can picture the scene without difficulty, accepting it proves beyond my capabilities. Sachi, Sachi!
はい、いかがなさいましたか？
Emergency situation. Sorry for the sudden notice, but I need you to withdraw from the previous request. Discontinue the production process.
と申しますと？
Talking about the pouch, you remember, right?
はい、すでに半分ほど完成しているサメさんポーチの件ですか？
Halfway? What do you mean halfway? You just started.
はい、それはもうマッハで取り掛かっておりましたもので。
But now I just feel bad because she's obviously very excited about this. Every time the word shark pouch leaves Sachi's mouth, her expression becomes dazed and dreamy. The girl's gotten herself all fired up for some reason. I've got to do something and quick.
だって風見さんがサメさんポーチだなんて可愛いじゃないですか。ですからこの小峰幸、それはもうミリミリで作業に取り掛からせていただきました。
Okay, we need to find somebody who wants a shark pouch even more than we supposedly did. Things already half finished. I can hardly admit that I simply wasn't paying attention to the conversation. In the field, even a momentary lapse of judgment can be enough to trap you in a hopeless situation. I've seen people die for their carelessness before my eyes. Few thoughtless steps, a small sound drowned out by the buzzing of insects, a single stray bullet. Such things can sometimes change the fate of the world. I should know this all too well, and yet look at me now. Cold sweat trickles down my armpits as I speak. Shark, eh? A shark, is it?
はい、サメさんです。
Can you make it a crocodile instead?
できます。すぐに取り掛からせていただきます。
Figures, I was hoping to buy some time for an unreasonable demand, but we're dealing with Sachi here. A design change like that doesn't even phase her. Sorry, Sachi, forget about the crocodile as well.
はい、ではこのトレーシングペーパーはひとまず剥がしておきます。
Our preparations for changing the color from a shark to a crocodile are proceeding far too quickly. I can't underestimate her skills. Gotta pick an animal difficult enough to throw her for a loop and slow down the production process. Which would mean, got it, Sachi, what we need here is a bush dog. What?
ヤブ犬ですか？アルゼンチン北東部などに生息し、後ろ向きに走ることができるという別名ブッシュドッグことあのヤブ犬ですか？
Why do you know so much information about this? Do you indeed think you can handle it?
もちろんです。しかし少し時間がかかるかもしれません。
Sachi twists her face in apparent frustration, just as I'd hoped. Even with her determined spirit, making a motive from such an unfamiliar animal would require some time-consuming work. Alright, carefully collect your reference materials, proceed slowly but surely. Nice and slowly, understood?
かかります。
Let's have your initial report and the estimated time to completion.
2分です。
Through heroic effort, I managed to swallow the words. That's too damn fast before they leave my mouth. I see. You still think it'll go that smoothly, eh?
迅速な行動が理念ですから。それでは失礼いたします。
Seems the bush dog was too easy. If I'd gone with the golden lion tamarind, I might have bought myself a few more minutes. Damn it, I chose poorly, damn it.
バカじゃないのほんと。適当に返事してるからでしょう。まったく。
Yeah. Silence. What's the point of passing judgment on history from a position of hindsight? At that time, under those circumstances, I made the best decision I could.
その結果がこれ。まったくご苦労なことね。
Honestly, having someone make you a handmade bag that you can carry stuff in, it's kind of a thoughtful gift. Damn it all.
ちょっと落ち着きなさいよ。ポーチぐらい大したことじゃないでしょ。
Yes, perhaps you're right. My apologies, I overreacted. Thanks to Michiru's words, I quickly regained my composure. It seems my lack of sleep has made me overly irritable. Just as she says, if I think about the matter rationally, there's hardly any reason to make such a fuss over a mere rhinestone-covered shark pouch. The mature thing is to politely accept my sparkly fate. On second thought, I'd rather die.
だから落ち着きなさいっての。
Adequate sleep is gravely important.
どうしたのよさ。ずいぶん騒がしいじゃないの。祭り系？
それがさ、参っちゃうのよね。ユウジが珍しく苛立っててね。
ぽへー、珍しいこともあるのよさ。カルシウム食えや、ほれ。
She ceases smoking and picks up a pebble from the hallway floor, offers it to me. I stepped over Kurt, yeah, then hurl it into the distance with one smooth movement.
何するの？
Silence, please. I really truly need you to stop talking for a while.
Please don't say train.
Train. What are you gonna do, bitch? No, he was discussing locomotives. Your English is terrible. Also, you need to shut up.
ミュ
なんよ、変なお兄ちゃんだな。確かにいつもとちょっと違うのよさ。
I'm not crazy.
話半分で聞いてるユウジが悪いから仕方ないんだけどね。
True, when you get down to this is my fault. Seems I have no choice but to accept the consequences.
それでチルチルは私に何のようなのよ。
うん、それは。風見さん、できましたよ。
don't like this. Although she's completely out of breath, Sachi's face is filled with the joy of victory. She flashes out her hand, offering me a pouch recognizably modeled after a bush dog. Pretty impressive accuracy for such off-the-cuff work, actually. Good work. Impressive. I wasn't expecting you to finish the job so quickly.
はい、サメは国家なり。
サメじゃなくてヤブ犬だし、国家でもないけど。
では風見さん、早速ご試着願います。この紐を肩におかけになってください。
Turn the pouch over my hand. It seems to be constructed from heavy-duty waterproof nylon usable in even heavy rainy weather. Isn't nylon like a really expensive material? Like it's supposed to be really nice. Where did you get nylon? In order to express the distinctive coat of the bush dog, Sachi has made use of the fabric of a chocolate chip pattern. Chocolate chip design is more familiar of a camouflage pattern in desert regions, well suited to the purpose. I'm honestly fairly impressed with her creative choice. Yeah, as to intentionally shadow the otherwise clever design, sparkling rhinestones are scattered all across the pouch's surface. The sheer glitter powder of this thing is overwhelming. I feel a little dizzy just looking at it.
はい、
Sachi.
どうかいたしましたか？紐にはアジャスターも備えていますから、多少の体格の変化にも対応できます。この小峰幸の最高傑作と言っても過言ではありません。ぜひの試着を。
I see. I steel my nerves and prepare to face my cruel sparkly fate. If only I'd gotten adequate sleep. The next moment, the situation changes abruptly. Michiru approaches briskly, snatches the pouch from my hands, and dangles it in front of Makina.
ほら、マキナ見てみなさいよ、このポーチ。ポーチ？ポーチなんて興味ないのよさ。寝言は寝て言えっつうの、本当に。バカ、ちゃんとよく見てみなさいよね。ほらこれ、キラキラ。キラキラ。
A subtle motion too small for Makina to consciously notice, Michiru draws the pouch back towards herself. The action triggers Makina's subconscious instinct for the chase, firmly hooking her interest in the bush dog pouch.
キラキラなのよさ。目さキラキラしとる。それ香水。
It's hella shiny. And Makina's words are grabbed Sachi's shoulders and stare intensely into her eyes. Sachi, my friend, you heard the girl. This thing's hella shiny. I want it. Unless you give me this pouch, I don't know what will become of me. I'm afraid I can no longer live without it. What passion, my heart has been moved. And I know it was originally scheduled to receive this, but I think Makina may be more deserving recipient. Maybe look even better on her than it would on me. What do you think?
そうですね。確かにサメの段階では風見さんがベストだったのですが、ヤブ犬となるとマキちゃんに若干の軍配が。ね、これ何？ゴールデンライオンなんとか？失敬な。どこからどう見てもヤブ犬。ヤブ犬か。あれかわいいよね。ヤブ犬大好き。マキナの中で私のポジションどの辺なの？
Gosh, Makina really is just a troll, isn't she?
犬、チルチル、ヤブ犬、犬っていう順位で好き。なんだかすごく獣に挟まれてる感じがする。そして犬が2回も。
Sachi, can you find in your heart to give it to your young animal lover here? I think that would be the best thing for the pouch.
もう、獣が好きなわけじゃないのよ。ヤブ犬と2匹の犬とチルチルが好きなだけなのよ。
I love how she sandwiches her between dogs.
はい、わかりました。確かに私も風見さんよりマキちゃんが持っていた方がお似合いな気がします。はーい、モロタで、キラッキラのヤブ犬モロタで。ダフン。
What?
こいつ泣くぞ。
はい、泣いた方がいいかな。
What?
なぜ照れた？ねえねえサッチ、これもっと泣きバリエある？
バリエーションはまだ10種類しかなくてね。
パパパパ。
いやー、かわいい、かわいい。あっちでもっと教えて。人のいない静かな場所でこの鳴き声を堪能したいのよさ。
この鼻の部分を押すとね。
すげえ、ヤブ犬なのに。
I like how there's dialogue on the top. Monkey and Sachi wander off somewhere, grasping the sparkling bush dog pouch in their hands. Left behind, Michiru and I find each other's eyes and heave simultaneous sighs of relief. Excellent work, I definitely owe you one.
はあ？何がよ。
No need to play dumb. I know you orchestrated this conclusion. You called Machina so you could press the pouch on her.
画策？変な言いがかりつけないでよね。私のどこが画策だって言うのよ。そんなに画策してる？
Okay, okay. You need to find orchestrated.
あれでしょ？こう、カクカクサクサクってことでしょ？何それ？どういう意味よ？
Is it bad that I pictured Non from Kill la Kill? Hey, these two kind of seem a little bit similar. I think they're both kind of tsunderes. Whatever, either way, I owe you one. From now on, I'll be paying at least a little attention to any conversation about how incredibly pointless, otherwise there's no telling when I'll get caught up in something ridiculous again.
あんたって素直なんだかへそ曲がりなんだかわかんないわね。
Sounds like you're describing yourself.
そんなことないでしょ。すっごいじゃなくてすっごく積んで。あれ、こういう時はどうすればいいのかしら。
If a tsundere honestly admits they're a tsundere, they stop being a tsundere. Woman says everyone on her island tells nothing but lies. If it's true, the woman's a liar, but if she's a liar, what she says can't be true. Similar case.
ハリネズミのジレンマってやつね。
No, not quite.
違うの？ジンマシンのハリネズミ？
Dilation? Now you're just talking about an animal giving birth.
じゃあ、段ボール箱の中の猫がジンマシン？
Are you looking to become a veterinarian?
私って注意になりたがってるの？いつの間にか心理テストを試したのね。なんという恐ろしい男。
There was no testing involved. You managed to get yourself completely confused just fine without my help. Specifically, you started talking about things you don't understand and lost track of the conversation entirely. Neither Schrodinger nor Freud have anything to do with this. You're trying too hard. Stick to nice, small words.
うるさいわね。とにかく、私は私なの。他の誰でもないの。
Yes, I'm aware of that.
私は分かってないのよ。
Misha takes a handful of Ramune candies from her pouch and munches down on them vigorously. I know women are always saying they have a separate stomach for sweets, but isn't this the daily intake of junk food bad for her? Or is it some sort of stress relief? Seems to me that's a coping strategy like that would just get you caught in a vicious cycle of candy-bloated misery. You know, no matter how much glucose you take in, it's not going to increase your basic potential for action. It's certainly necessary as energy for your brain, but considering your presumably modern and clearly unhealthy diet, there's no need to go out of your way to take more. Junk food like that is basically pure sugar, just so you know.
ほっときなさいよね。こうすると落ち着くのよ。にゃんにゃん。
If you're that fond of them, let me try one.
ダメよ。これは私専用なんだから。自分で買いなさい、この貧乏人。ああ、貧乏人って言葉はまずいか。このお菓子を欲しがる人への悪口は。
She's really having to think about this one. You what?
このシュガーレス。
Sugarless? I think you may have gotten there from homeless, but the nuance is actually pretty different. I think I might have mentioned this, but your English really needs work.
うっさいわね。とにかくそういうことだからバイバイ。
Oh, reasonably polite farewell for once.
バイバイ取り消し。バイバイしないからね。なんもなしで去るからね。なんもなし。
Got it. See you later.
またね。
Difficult for me to determine whether this girl is basically a somewhat considerate person or just an utter idiot who occasionally stumbles in her way into acts of kindness, but either way, she's incredibly noisy. From experiences, I know that there are essentially two types of women in the world. You have your noisy women, and then you have your even noisier women. We men must manage as best as we can in this cruel world. There's a quick and efficient way of shutting a woman up, namely sealing her lips, and sadly this comes with its own set of complications. Life's no picnic. I think I'll be going to bed early tonight. When you visit a country where they speak a different language, there's one thing you should always learn first. Maybe the local phrase for thank you, or so my master taught me. Of course, my master was also such a half-assed human being that she didn't usually bother to learn anything else. Get thanks down first, and then just make up the rest as you go along. I had plenty of good conversations in America using only thank you, dog, and pencil. When someone's that shamelessly sloppy about life, it's actually kind of charming. Women have the brains of poultry, but while we're on the subject of English, chicken head is an insult you should usually try to avoid over there. Say that to a woman and you imply that she spends a lot of time moving her head back and forth like a chicken pecking a feed. In other words, She's a blowjob expert.
Today's supper is a fish. You like a fish?
Oh gosh, it's the English.
Do I do like a fish?
Yes, fish. Are you okay?
What you say?
Are you okay?
Are you gay?
Yes, I'm okay.
Oh jeez, but that.
You too?
Suck that! You bastard!
What? Please say again.
Oh, this conversation is
You
gold.
know I'm saying? Looking now.
I like fish. I'm rabbit.
You love it? You must not love.
Is there even English in here? Hey, Monty.
何さ
What exactly are those two doing over there?
あれマキナ先生の特別授業だよ。
Remedial class.
ほら、みちるはこの前、英語のテストで赤点ギリギリだったじゃない？だからああやって時々教えてもらってんのよ。
Makina teach?
まあ、ほら、言ったと思うけど、マキナはああ見えて子供の頃アメリカに住んでたしね。
The idea of Makina teaching somebody is kind of bizarre.
何を言う考えても見たまい諸君いいかね松島みちるといえばショパンをチョピンと読む女だぞそして私はアニマルをエニモーと発音する女だこれはもう誰の目から見ても私が教える側の人間であることは明白まさに自明の理ではあるまいか
I don't know. I think someone needs to teach both of you.
いや、そうに違いない反語そしてなぜか口調まで天才風うざいこと苦の上なし
自分で言うっていうか、自分で分かっているなら自重しなさいよ。
I think Makina has to be pretty clever. Just because she does know how to talk normally, but sometimes she purposely talks in like, I don't know, kind of a goofy accent. Like she's aware of the difference. Awfully full of yourself for someone who can't even pronounce Anomalocaris? Anomalocaris? I don't know.
何それ
I can't pronounce it either, so it's the name of the largest animal in existence during the Cambrian period. Okay, let's see what you got.
アロマノカリス
A Romanocaris? Yeah, I was like, isn't there an L in there?
アノロマカリス
Wrong, it's Anomalocaris. Once more.
マノ
ハロゲンバルブ。
I don't know what I was expecting, but that was not it. With the smug face.
ハゲロンバブル
はい、アウト。
What, you can't even handle a halogen bulb?
マキちゃんは舌が短いし、頭の中がちょっと特殊なので、うまく発音できない言葉が多いんですよ。
I am a grown man and I am having trouble pronouncing a lot of these words, so that's okay.
そんなことないのよなめんなマキナなめんな
貨客船マンギョンボン号。
Mangyongbong 92?
うるさいな邪魔すんな
It's fair to be the temper tantrum. It's probably a side effect of a compression-based mnemonic method. She seems to be storing only the beginning and ending of each word for efficiency, so proper nouns and words with unusual middle syllables give her trouble.
チルチル英会話の続きやるよ
Yes, please
うる
do.
さいわね。そんな大声出さなくても聞こえてるわよ。
I want to hear you guys try to do English
じゃあ
again.
マネを使った英会話始め
あー、ハーネイミズ、アマーネー、
はいノーズそうは
シーズ、 very lovely.
It's right.
By making her a lover, it's to become happy.
How about it?
She's lover of lover.
Lover of lover?
What?
If you marry her, it is mommy of mommy.
It is mommy and mommy.
Hey, is your mommy a mommy?
Yes.
Oh, holy shit! Confirm, you get life.
What? Hearing Makina say holy shit is the funniest thing. What good is this doing? This isn't even a conversation. Hey, Mani. Is
ん
this really gonna help her grades any?
どうだろうね。まあ、やらないよりはいいんじゃない？
Well, maybe. I guess. The complete lack of coherent flow of this conversation is part of the problem, but Makina's English is honestly almost as bad as Michiru's. Honestly, though, I think it wasn't too bad. Like, this line, I feel like, was pretty good.
Hey, is your mommy a mommy?
Because she did the difference between mommy and mummy. Because, like, there's only one, letter that's different in each of these. Her pronunciation is comically off, and she mixes in many word phrases you won't hear over there. They say you shouldn't learn English from a non-native speaker, and this is a good case in point.
まあ、なんとかなるんじゃない？ノリで。
I mean, overall, it's still not that great, but the fact that she, like, was able to pronounce mommy and mummy a little bit differently, I think was pretty good. That I feel like would be confusing for someone who didn't speak English. I suppose there are some people out there who can hold an entire conversation using only pencil dog, and thank you. When it comes to English conversations, might as well just make it up as you go along. I guess that's the extent of our lesson for the day. I would say English speakers are pretty forgiving of people that clearly don't know the language. When you see a maid with her hands empty, call out to her. I actually think we're going to end it off here. I think that was a great end to the episode. We started off the episode talking about fiddling around, playing around, a hand on your gland, and we're ending it with nonsensical English. So that's pretty much covers this entire episode. Anyways, the one more serious point is we did kind of get to hang out with Sakaki a little bit. We kind of got closer to her. I feel like we're kind of having a Machina moment where we kind of had a more serious conversation with her a little bit. Not to say that that conversation was very detailed at all, but I did feel like we kind of grew closer to her in that moment, like by not pressing her. I think she was so used to people just kind of meddling in her lives that it's kind of nice to have somebody who doesn't, That makes you want to kind of open up to them in a way, because they're not like begging for it. They're not trying to get you to reveal it. So anyways, I think I'll end it off here. I think it's a good stopping point, and I shall see you guys in the next episode. Have a good one.